Okay, ladies and gentlemen, back with the Ravnica City of Guild set review last episode. We're gonna bring you Colorless and Lands. And it's gonna be a little bit all over the place because there's no real good way to order these cards. But let's start because it's an important piece of the puzzle here in Ravnica. This really kind of defines your deck building because this was like one of the best designed multicolor set. And these cards really matter here. So let's go through the first, four All-Star cards. These are the Shocklands, Source for four guilds, Watery Grave for Dimir, Overgrown Tomb for Golgari, Temple Garden for Selesnya, and Sacred Fountain for Boros. And they're very simple. They tap for the guild's colors, and they come in tapped generally, but if you pay 2 life, they come in untapped. Excellent stuff. Still in Vintage Cube. You just said it all. And then the next one is the Signets. So they are also mana fixing artifacts. They each of them follow their own guild, and they each cost 2 mana. So you have Dimir, Boros, give me a sec, Golgari, and Selesnya. And then what they do is you can use a generic mana and tap them, and they add your guild's color. So Golgari adds green and black, Selesnya white and green, and you name it. And then, what is also very important in the common slot here, these lands, the Dimir Aqueduct, Golgari Rot Farm, Boros Garrison, and Celestia Sanctuary. So these are the infamous bounce lands. And these lands are, again, still to the latest day, it was in Vintage Cube, and they come into play tapped. But the joke here is that they actually tap for 2 colors. And then, the mitigation on it that whenever you play them, you return a land you control to its owner's hand. So they don't actually get you ahead of mana in terms of what turn you, how many mana you can use, but they are card advantage. So it's like having, one of these and a land on your hand. You actually have 3 mana access because you play the land on turn one, then turn two, do this, comes into play tap, and turn three, you replay your land, and these tap for 2 mana, the other land taps for 1 mana, so that's your joke. And these cards are awesome. Like, I think they are very highly pickable in this format. They let you splash, and yeah, like they unlock other synergies, like kind of landfally stuff and stuff like that. Yeah, it's just excellent cards all around. And signets we've seen. Oh, and then you have these guild homes as well. So these are another special lands. Some of them see play in modern, many of them play in standard. Really cool lands. So they generally tap for colorless mana, and each of them gives an ability which is typical to that guild. So Sun Home is the Boros one. It gives a creature for 4 mana a double strike. And then let's just find the other one. Vitugazi is the Selesnya one. So for 4 mana, you can put a 1/1 Saproling creature token into play. And then we're gonna have Swoktos, so that's like the Golgari one. And then for 5 mana until end of turn, uh, this becomes a creature, and then its size is equal to the number of cards, creature cards in your graveyard. So it's pretty good. And then Dusk Mantle is the Dimir one. And then for Dimir, target player to put top card of his or her library into his or her graveyard. So it fits nicely into the mill team. So let's go back and then go through the artifacts, which are not the signets and what we have already seen, but the other ones. So land, yeah. So Sun Forger, so this is the Boros artifact, it's 3 mana. It's an equipment. Equipped creature gets +4/+0. So your tokens are brawling with everything. And then the special abilities, you can unattach it for a Boros, and then search your library for a red or white instant card with converted mana cost 4 less, and put that and play that card without paying its mana cost. Whoa! So this is pretty good card advantage on one hand, and there's also probably some mana and tempo advantage. Excellent card. I mean, if you have this card in your pool or you open it in draft, you always play it. Cloudstone Curio. So this is Commander All Star, and I think it was played in Legacy and many other formats. Modern. It's a combo engine. Whenever a non-artifact permanent comes into play under your control, you may return another permanent you control that shares the permanent type with it to its owner's hand. So if you have like a lot of enter the battlefield effect, this is really juicy. But your board size will not increase because you need to return something when this comes to play. But you still get substantial advantage of triggering the ATBs multiple times. Spectral Searchlight. So it's a 3 mana rock. You choose a player, and target player adds 1 mana of any color he or she chooses to his or her mana pool. So 3 mana and any color. Pariah Shield. So this is a 5 mana equipment. All damage that would be dealt to you is dealt to equip creature instead, and it's equipped for 3. Yeah, I mean Selesnya has like some huge toughness creatures, so they can soak up a lot of damage. Um, Pariah Shield on them. Yeah, I don't know how exciting this outside of Selesnya. So Voyager stuff. So it's a 1 mana artifact. Sacrifice it and remove target creature from the game. Return the creature to play under its owner's control at the end of turn. Yeah, I mean it's kind of like a Restoration Angel effect on a stick, which is very visible to your opponent. But who knows? You might be able to get some value out of this one. And yeah, Junk Troller. So this one is actually a very, very good card. It's a 4 mana 06 defender, which is not very impressive, but it has the ability to tap, put target card in a graveyard on the bottom of its owner's library. So this is good against Meal, which is one of the premier archetype in the format. Terrarian, so it's a 1 mana artifact, a little trinket. It comes into play tapped. You can sacrifice for 2, and it gives you 2 mana of any combination of colors. Nice to fixing colors, and whenever it hits the graveyard, you draw a card. So yeah, costs you nothing and gives you fixing. Northstone Gargoyle, so it's a 9 mana 4/5 flyer, and whenever the first non creature spell is each turn is played, you counter that spell. So the joke here really is that they can't really remove it. They need to remove or cast on the same turn because the first one is countered. Yeah, you can't cast your instant sorceries either, but hopefully you have a lot of creature in your deck, and this is a 4/5 flyer, so this is gonna kill your opponent very, very quickly in this format. Plague Boiler, so there's this cycle. The Sunhome was the Boros version, and Plague Boiler is the Golgari version. And then every upkeep you put a plague counter on it, and for one in a Golgari you can also put a plague counter on it. And then when it has 3 or more plague counter, sacrifice it and you destroy all non permanent. Whoa, this is kind of unbelievable. So this is a Golgari board wipe. Yeah, I think you always want to draft it. Board wipes are good, you control when you play it. So yeah, all those advantages. Bottle Cloister. So this you used to see play in Legacy. At the beginning of each opponent upkeep, remove your hand from your game face down, so you cannot be Thoughtseize anymore. And at the beginning of your upkeep, return all cards removed from the game with Bottle Cloisters to your hand, and more importantly, then you draw a card. So this is the colorless Phyrexian Arena for you. And yeah, you always put it in your deck. It's substantial card advantage, great card. Peregrine Mask, equip creature as defender, flying, and first strike, and it's one to play, two to equip. This is really good defensive too. If you couldn't attack with a creature, you can just equip it, and then later on, if you need it in combat, you can equip to a lesser creature. Glass Golem, 5 mana, 6/2 colorless. I don't know, it's massive filler vibe. I don't think this card is very good. Crown of Convergence, so this is the Selesnya artifact. Play with the top card of your library revealed. And as long as it's a creature card, creatures you control that shares color with gets +1/+1, and you can actually choose to play Selesnya and remove that card and then see the next card. So you put that in the bottom. Yeah, it's nice little buff. Leashling, so it's 6 mana 3/3, and then if you put a card, discard kind of card to the top of your library, you can return it to your owner's hand. Yeah, it is resilient, but the body is not impressive at all. So resilience for the sake of resilience, not much benefit. Grifter's Blade, however, is I think a good card. It's a 3 mana equipment, and then you can play it at flash speed. And when it enters, you can equip it for free, and the creature gets +1/+1. So it's a nice little combat trick, which can also buff your creatures later on. Bloodleather Quill. So this is the Dimir version of the artifacts. It's a 3 mana artifact for 2 and a tap, put a blood counter on it, and draw a card, then lose 1 life for each blood counter on it. So it gets more painful to actually draw more cards. We can draw a number of cards, and then for Dimir, you can remove blood counters from. Yeah, this card I think is excellent. Cyclopean Snare, it's a 2 mana artifact and 3 and tap target creature, then return this to its owner's hand. Yeah, it's a very expensive IC manipulator, but who knows? Sometimes you might need something like that. And you have these beautiful art basic lands. These are gorgeous from back in the day. But yeah, so this was the colorless and land review for you. So watch out for these cards as they are impacting the format pretty well. And then hope to see you in the next draft event. and we can draft some Ravnica City of Git. So thanks for watching and see you live.